So picture the scene. You've made the decision that you are going to quit drinking, or you are at least going to take a proper break from booze. Maybe you've been listening to my videos and listening to me long enough to know that stopping for 6 to 8 weeks is the best way to test drive alcohol-free living properly. So you share this important goal with your partner, but instead of being met with the support that you'd hope for, they say to you, well, I don't think you really need to do that. Why don't you just try and cut back? Why don't you just stop after 1 or 2 drinks like I do? So you have a conversation about it, and maybe it becomes clear that they don't want you to be drinking in the way that you have been. So they've noticed that and they can see that that's a problem and not good. However, they don't want you to quit completely either. They'd love it if you just drank a bit less instead. Maybe they even think that you're overreacting a little bit, or perhaps they're trying to reassure you because they don't want you to worry, or they actually don't want to lose a drinking buddy, or perhaps they genuinely believe that you just haven't really tried to drink less yet. Perhaps they're thinking of the times that you've had a few drinks together and it's been really good, or they've really enjoyed it, or who knows, maybe they just don't want to drink on their own. Whatever the reason, I want to acknowledge how painful it can be to share this very personal decision that you've thought a lot about with someone you care for, and then have them push back on it. Like, it is hard to have them question you and question your decision, or inadvertently shame you because they really think that you should be able to just drink less like them. And you know that you've already tried that. Because the fact is, no one watches my videos or stumbles across the sober school because moderation is going super well for them. That's not why you're here. You're watching this for a reason, because you've tried cutting back already. So what can you do if you are in this situation right now? If your partner has made it clear that they would really prefer it if you just cut back? Because many drinkers are people pleasers as well, so it can feel really hard not to do what someone else wants you to do. There are 3 things I want you to keep in mind here. First of all, be really clear on this. No one else has the right to determine how much or how little alcohol you should drink. It's always your decision. In the same way that you wouldn't let someone else decide whether or not you are gluten intolerant or whether or not you should quit smoking, no one else gets to decide whether alcohol is or isn't working for you and what you should do next. Because you're the only person who knows how it truly feels, how it affects you. And it's not about how your relationship with alcohol looks to those around you, how it appears on the surface to them, or what they think is the best. Only you know how it makes you feel. Only you know the true impact that it has on your life. So that's the first thing. Second, I think the real issue here is the sense that you are perhaps letting someone else down. You know, your partner wants you to do something and you're saying no. Perhaps they are romanticizing those few occasions when you've drunk together and it's worked out really well and you've actually had a really good evening. I want you to actively question whether you are really letting them down. Are you taking those special moments away from them? Because at the end of the day, all you're really going to be doing is putting a different liquid in your glass. Everything else gets to stay the same. And the real reason that drinking together at the end of the day feels so good, it's got so many things. It's because it's quality time together. It's probably the first time all day that you've stopped, sat down, enjoyed the warm weather, or caught up on your day, or allowed yourself to catch your breath and relax together. That's the magic. It's not what's in your glass. That experience can happen no matter what liquid you're drinking or they are. They can drink whatever they like. And you're not demanding that they stop drinking too. So I just invite you to really question whether or not you are letting them down, because I think that's a big factor here, the feeling that you're letting them down by choosing to drink and putting a different liquid in your glass. I don't think you are. Here's the final thing I've got to say about this. If you still can't get on board with this idea, if you are convinced that you are absolutely going to let your partner down by quitting drinking when they do not want you to, then you've got to remember this brutal truth. Because if you continue to drink, you will still let them down, just in other ways. And you will let yourself down too. So what do I mean by that? Well, you are going to be the partner who says things she regrets whilst drinking, who falls asleep on the sofa, who doesn't have the energy to do the things that were planned. The partner who drinks and then can't remember moments that were meant to be really special. The partner who drinks and then picks fights over nothing, who risks her health, who is unpredictable and sometimes completely irrational whilst drinking. I could go on and on here. But my point is that by continuing to drink, when you know how often the side effects happen, that is letting your partner down, just in another way. And it lets you down too, because you deserve better. You really do. And I want you to know this. I've had thousands of women go through my Getting Unstuck coaching program now, and they have been very closely supported by me and my team of coaches. And here's what we've noticed. Your other half will get on board with this change, this transformation, when they start seeing how good and how happy you are. When they realize how much they're gaining from you being happily alcohol-free, they'll get on board with it. But their approval probably won't come straight away, and they might need some time to get used to the idea. But it will happen. I promise you that. During that transition period, when they're not yet on board, but you are pushing forward regardless, when you are having to hold the faith for both of you, now that is when it's really useful to get some support from someone like me, from someone who's got your back. And that kind of support is exactly what you will get when you come and work with me at the Sober School. So I'm Kate B. Please go ahead, scroll down and let me know what your experiences are in this area. And I really just hope that this video inspires you to make the best decision for you, no matter what anyone else is telling you to do.